First up, we've got Young Mothers, directed by Jean-Pierre Dardenne, or Dardenne, and Luc Dardenne. If you've heard of the Dardenne brothers, they are celebrated indie filmmakers from France. I have seen at least one of theirs, maybe a couple of theirs. I know I saw one called The Kid with the Bike, and it was a really good movie, very subdued, very character oriented, and I think this movie goes along similar lines. So Young Mothers is exactly what it says it is. It's about young mothers. Now it's funny, I was talking about other French movies I watched recently. We watched what was it called? The House of Tolerance, which was about the turn of the 20th century brothel and the lives of these different women living in that situation. Strangely, this movie, not about that, but it's about young mothers. So it's about young women, and I mean young, I mean like teenagers, who are either pregnant or have recently given birth, living in a home, a group shelter. So you're seeing them all in their daily lives. So in the sense, it is similar because it's all about the day-to-day lives and struggles of a group of women living under a same roof. Although it does travel away from this location quite a bit. It's not always in this group home. In fact, I'd say it's about half in the group home and half in other locations. And what you've got is basically these interwoven stories of these four young women. You've got Jessica. Now she is the young mother who doesn't have a mom, or like she has a mom, she was given up for adoption. So of course she's about to give birth at the beginning of this movie, and by the end of it she's given birth. She has a baby, and she, like I said, she was given up for adoption, and of course struggling with that, she wants to find her birth mother and find out why she was given up, and then at the same time figure out, does she want to give up her own kid? And then the second kid we've got is Perla, and she has a baby with a boyfriend who seemed to be with her but is just getting out of jail, and she's expecting to start life with him and their brand new baby, and he may or may not be much more of a deadbeat than she thought, and her struggles. You've got Ariane. She is somebody who had dealt with various abuse in her life from her mom and the men in her mom's life. So of course you can see the struggles she might have being a mother without any support system. And then finally you've got Julie, who her biggest problem is that she had been an addict, has been struggling to stay off of drugs, and now that she has a young baby, of course, being on drugs is a terrible possible future for her. So she's really trying very, very hard to stay clean. And she has a similarly conflicted young man in her life. And he seems to be, of all the four women, he seems to be the one that's the most consistently in the life of a woman that has the baby. And he also has been struggling to stay sober as well. So you see you've got these four basic women, four basic kind of conflicts, or I guess obstacles into being a happy and healthy mother and child relationship, and then how do they struggle through these. I would say the strength of this movie is that the performances from these young women are really, really strong and very, very, very non-mannered, very, very lifelike. I mean, they're not doing a lot of theatrics here. Everything is almost, I won't say cinema verite exactly, but it does at times seem like the kind of thing that nearly could be a documentary in the style of shooting and the style of acting and everything about it. I mean, obviously some of these situations seem to be a bit heightened, but they're all something that could believably happen. Whether they'd all happen at the same time in the same group home, probably not so much drama in one group home at one time, but I mean, it's conceivable it could be. And all the situations on an individual level are totally, believable and things that happen in the world. So really, I mean, if you're going to, I guess, be drawn into this movie, it all just depends on how much you are drawn into the various plights of these women. I think it's pretty engaging on all counts. And I think that, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have like a strong plot per se, but it has very strong drawn issues for each girl and very strong characters for each girl. So you definitely know, what the stakes are and what we're looking at, and following their stories back and forth as they interweave. I think it's very easy to stay with the storylines of each girl. So I don't have a whole lot else to say about it. It's one of those things that if you're drawn into the stories of the women, you are drawn into performances, and you are, I guess you have some engagement in the outcome of each of these girls' stories, then I think you'll be into the movie. Is it going to be like your best of the year? Probably not, but it's going to be one that will have moments that should stick with you. And I think depending on what your own history is, like whether you've been adopted or know people who've been adopted, or people who've given up their children, or people who've struggled in various ways around motherhood, it will strike you deeper or not as deep, depending on where you will fall in that category. I'm going to say I'm going to fall on where am I going to be on this one? Probably 4 stars. I think it's really solid. I think it's really good. But like I said, it doesn't go to some great heights. It doesn't make it like to a year-end best list or anything, but it's a very solid indie drama movie.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care.